Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to you all. Today we are going to finally finish up our adorable little baby towel, but most importantly I'm going to reveal the secret of how to perfectly create the folded corner. Just like you can clearly see it right here, which you all have been asking me about so very much. Many people see the finished wife, but they don't know how to achieve that perfect fold with the fabric, and today I'm going to reveal it to you step by step. Alright, in our previous videos, we were exploring how to create specifically the first and second steps to achieve a small towel just like this one. Firstly, I'd like to remind you, we worked a very simple stitch pattern all the way around the entire edge of the towel. In my particular instance, I opted for a design that is known as shells. Then, for the second step, I explained to them that we absolutely have to turn around this corner, exactly as you can clearly see right here, okay? And then you need to calculate to ensure that you have the exact same number of stitches on both sides, just as it's shown here. After that, I then instructed you that we should proceed to take the very tip of the piece in this specific manner and then mark out several points here and then crochet tall stitches precisely as you can observe right here. Right? That's as far as we're going to go, right? That's as far as we're going to go. Now, we're going to continue with the part where we'll be decreasing them so that it looks like this. Here, on the red one, we can notice that we have little shells, we have little rings, but if you notice, it goes decreasing from largest to smallest until we reach just one little ring. And then, all around the entire edge, we will be making the very same stitch that we were doing on the main washcloth. Now then, how exactly do we make this decrease? That's exactly where we're going. Please follow me. We'll be returning in just a little bit. We'll take a short break and be right back. Let's continue. Okay, as I was telling you, we're almost reaching the end of the little hoops. For those of you who want to know, you make as many chains as you find convenient. In my case, I made 4 chains. Alright? As I am now reaching the very last part, the final single crochet stitch of the previous round, I'm going to close it here. Okay? Watch closely what I'm about to do now. I am going to close this with a single crochet stitch, alright? I'm going to finish this on a low note. Okay, here, so this is our first round. Now we're going to go up, remember, until we get to something that looks like this, alright? What are we going to do? I am going to turn it over. I am going to flip the fabric. Remember, we're working from left to right because I'm left-handed, just like many of you, and you've had a lot of trouble. In this case, I'll show you from left to right. Those who are right-handed, they then adapt it to their hand, okay? That's already quite easy for right-handed people because they master it so very well. So let me just do something else here. One more thing that I think I really do need. Alright, so here we go. Remember, we're going to be doing a single crochet stitch. When you're about to close off the little shell pattern, you'll then make a single crochet. Once you've completed the very last single crochet stitch, then we're going to turn our work around. This step is crucial. We'll make 1 chain stitch and then in the very last loop or the very last ring, That's where we're going to insert our hook and make a single crochet stitch just like this. When we turn around, we'll make the chain, then we'll work a single crochet stitch into the very first loop. Now we're going to chain up 4 stitches, alright, and we're going to insert our hook. We'll insert it into the very next loop and then continue on like that. Please bear with me for a moment. Next, we're going to create 4 chains and we'll be inserting into each little loop and then continuing this way until we reach the very last loop. Please go ahead and do that and I will return in just a moment. Pause and we'll resume. Nos, I, na. Alright, let's keep going. I've worked my way up to the second to last one. Now I'm at the very last little loop. For this one, please observe carefully. We're going to follow the exact same procedure. We'll make 4 chains and then we'll insert them into that final little loop, okay? We're now on the very last little ring. Up to this point, we have already completed the second round of these little rings. Now the question is, how do I continue ascending to gradually decrease the size? This is the exact procedure that we will be following for all the subsequent rounds until I am left with just one, only a single little ring. Alright? Here at the very end, we're only going to have just one single loop. So the main technique that we'll be working on here is decreases. That's precisely why you're seeing it shaped like a distinct type of triangle. This is exactly what we're going to be focusing on right here. So please just follow along closely with me now. As I said, I've now made the last chain loop. After I finish the last loop, I'll do the same thing. We turn the work, okay? We turn the work. We do this every time we finish a side. We turn the work, then we chain 1. So, we're going to thread this right through that very same little loop. Did you see that? Again, we make the chain. Then we single crochet into the very first loop that's remaining and then I'll go up with 4 chains. Remember, in my case, I made 4 chains and then I single crochet into the next loop and so on into the following loop. Remember, 4 chains, that in my case, want to do it with more chains or with fewer, it will all depend on your yarn tension, on your fabric, but the important thing is to make the same amount. Well, what I just did, we'll continue working it the same way until the last loop. You go ahead and do that. I'll stay here and we'll be right back. Alright, we're still here. I want to finish this second round with you, so please be careful. Once I reach the end of this round again, in the very last loop, I'm going to stitch. Remember, I'll stitch there with a single crochet. Then, this is very, very important. Then I turn the entire piece of work over. Once again, I create a single chain stitch, then a single crochet stitch right there in that very same little loop, and then we will proceed with the next decrease. Remember, we'll make 4 chains, then we'll insert our hook into the very next loop, okay? Into the very next loop, we'll make 4 more chains, then into the next loop, and we'll just keep going like this, repeating the pattern until we finally reach the very last loop. You go ahead and follow the procedure, and I'll be following it here as well. To avoid making this video too lengthy, I'll continue my work here, and you can proceed with yours over there. Then, once we're approaching the very final stages, or the last few rounds of it, we'll come back together. Alright then. Well, here we are. We've made it to the end, look. I only have 2 loops here, just 1, 2. We've progressed so much that we're down to just 2 loops. I hope you've all been able to do it too. Otherwise, you can rewind the video as many times as necessary so that you can perform the correct procedure. Alright, so now that we have these 2 loops, remember, we turn the fabric, we turn the piece around, then we take the yarn, we make the chain stitch as usual, and then a single crochet right in that same spot, and finally, we're left with just 1 loop remaining. Very good.
allow me to just take a moment to do something here, all right? And then right here, we'll turn this around again. We'll make a single crochet stitch, and since I only have one loop left available to us, we're going to create the last 4 chain stitches, and then we'll insert our hook into the very last loop. So you can clearly see how it went from bigger to smaller. As this washcloth is for a baby boy, the trim is simpler. If you want it for a girl, you can make it more intricate and with more details. In this case, we've learned how to finish the edging this way with the folded corner. Very good. Before we move on, I really want to show you something important. So that this corner doesn't lift up, what exactly are we going to do? We want it to look just like this one, which is already perfectly finished. You see, it's going to stay completely closed. So what exactly is our next step here? With great care, we're going to take a regular sewing needle with some white thread or perhaps a color that perfectly matches your towel. We'll then proceed to make small, neat stitches all the way around this particular section, ensuring it ends up looking exactly like this. This one, as you can see, is already completely finished. You'll be doing the very same thing. It's quite simple, really. You'll be taking stitches, many stitches, all the way around the entire perimeter, ensuring that this specific point, this corner, is held very firmly and securely. And we must make sure it doesn't show on the back. Look at this one. It's stitched, but take a look at the finish. You can barely notice it, can you? Alright, so now that we have this work ready, this piece made of just little rings, what are we going to do? You might be asking yourself. Alright, in this case, I want you to see what I'm about to do. I'm going to finish this piece of work. I'm going to complete the piece with a chain, and then I'll cut off the extra part. I'll cut off the excess, and then we'll come back again and I'll explain to you what we'll do next. We will be right back. Alright, in this case, I've already made the cut and you'll do it over there. And remember that we can keep this excess thread hidden, right? In this case, I do it this way. As you see in the video, I hide it through the rest of the stitches and then I cut it at the end, okay? Alright, this isn't how it stays. This isn't how it stays. If you want to leave it like this, okay, that's your choice. But the ideal thing would be to make the same stitch we did at the base of the little towel, now around the triangle that's left. That's why I made the cut at the top. Why? Because now I am going to be working from this side over to the other, and in that way, we will pick up the thread once more, alright? And then we're going to mount it, set it, or pin it, whichever verb you find most fitting. And in this way, we'll work the shell edging around the triangle. Observe how I'm doing it. I'm simply inserting my hook. I'm inserting it into the single crochet stitch right at the beginning. And in this manner, we will be creating these shell stitches all along the edge, or rather on both sides of the triangle. Please observe. In my case, I'm going to chain 3, which is what I did, and then I'll work the shell stitch with 3 double crochets. In my case, I wanted to create 3 double crochet stitches in addition to the 3 chain stitches for the turning row. Here are 3 double crochet stitches, and then I'm going to insert my hook, okay? I'm going to insert the shell stitch into the very next space right here at the intersection of the following little ring. I'll do the same thing. I'll chain 3 stitches, then I'll make my 3 double crochets. Keep in mind, this is the standard procedure for the shell stitch. It's entirely up to your personal preference if you want to make 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet stitches. Alright, so for the next part, I'll keep pinching until I get there. What I just did here, we'll work it all along the edge until we reach this end. Once we get here, the towel will be very even. We'll be returning in just a moment for the final touch. We are back again, my friends, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, we're going to make the last little shell so you can see the closing. In this case, we'll make the 3 respective double crochets or vareta, as you might call it, whether you're in Panama or in another country, because we are now international. Alright, in this particular way, we now have the very last little shell, which we are going to carefully attach right here at the final connecting point that we have located close to where our initial shell began. Very good. So from this point forward, we can certainly proceed with the work that I am quite sure you all already know how to do. We're going to create a final chain stitch to complete our work here, and then we'll proceed to cut the yarn, okay? I'll carefully pull out the working yarn, make a small final adjustment, and then just like that, we'll have our little washcloth completely finished. Remember at this core pima that these leftover threads, we can then hide them through some of the stitches from the previous round, and then you can give it that perfect final touch. In this way, observe how we have finished the lace edging with the neatly folded corner. The secret that no one ever told you, and now you have finally discovered it. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, follow me on TikTok, leave a comment and recommend it to others, because we'll be continuing to share more tips and tricks. Observe, this is how we can see the final result here. On this red one, you can clearly see some of the appliques. Tell me if you would be interested in learning how to create these appliques and then attach them onto the little towels, whether they are for a baby boy or a baby girl. In this particular example, we can see this one that's already been completed. The final decoration is entirely up to your personal preference. Remember, please give this video a like, a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe and recommend this channel for many more creations.